All right, Ms. Carol, I can't wait to hear this, okay? Planting misinformation, okay? Where you want to start with that? I can't wait.
Well, I can be pretty vicious sometimes.
I know you can.
I was checking out somewhere recently, and the girl behind the counter tried to sell me soil amendments with my plants. And there were some old Hollywood junipers. And I was like, don't believe in them. So, I believe in improving soil, but from the top down, like Mother Nature does. If you dig a hole, they want you to dig a hole and mix the soil amendments in the hole and then plant in there. And actually what you're doing is creating a bucket of vastly different textured soil, which is going to fill up with water in wet times because the tight soil acts like a bucket.
Right.
And it's going to dry out faster during dry times. Plus, the roots don't really want to leave that little pampered area. They're like, oh, I don't want to go over in that
This is nice.
I'll stay right here, which means it'll blow over easy and, again, be a challenge to keep it watered. So I just break up the native soil as little as possible to get it in there. And also, if I do need to improve my soil, and my house, you know, I just built a house in 2011, a lot of bulldozer work, so I really don't have a lot of good native soil. So I'm not saying never till in soil amendments. But if you do the whole area so that it can continue, because tree roots especially, they want to go out sideways, you know, really far. So the more you can help them do that, that's good. They like for you to add like hormones and root stimulators to the hole. That no scientific research has shown that gives any benefit. It's just another product that they're trying to sell you over the counter.
Interesting.
Don't put any fertilizer in that hole.
I've heard that one too. In
fact, don't fertilize that plant for the first year. Woody plants, now annuals and vegetables, sure you do. That's a different thing. And you can till in all the stuff you want to there for that quick response. But for trees and shrubs, I don't recommend fertilizer for the first year because you have a challenge plant anyway. It's going through some shock. It's having to get real integrated into that new setting. And fertilizers are salty and they draw water from the roots. So you really don't want to be pushing the envelope with that and trying to give them a little bit more challenge. People want to do that when a plant's sick too. They like throw some fertilizer on it. I tried fertilizing it and it hadn't responded. Well, you don't want a whole bunch of rich food when you're sick either. So don't do that to the plant. Just nurse it during droughty times, you know, try not to stress it, see if it can recover from whatever is going on.
Let me ask you this though. Let me back you up for a second. So when do you recommend tilling? Tilling.
Yes. When if I'm going to do a vegetable garden, maybe. Now you can go the lasagna route and just, you know, layer things on top. But if I really want to improve the soil, the annuals, and I really need to plant a collect for seasonal display, I'm going to change that garden out twice a year, you know, from cool to warm season. I want that quick response. I don't have all day to wait for that plant to try to. So I'm probably going to till in, get some good amendments and some quick fertilizer boost, and get that quick turnover for me there.
Good.
Yeah. And also, like in my soil, I'm down to the B horizon. So I'm going to do the whole area. I don't have any soil structure left because of all the bulldozer work. So I'm not preserving anything by not tilling, because when we don't till, we're trying to preserve soil structure that was originally there. And right now I don't have any.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I do strip tilling. Just going to till one little strip exactly where I put the seeds.
Yeah. Well, the vegetable garden, I think that's cool. That's fine. Maybe not on my permanent vegetables. I mean, perennial. I'm going to do some perennial vegetables around my new garden plot, and I'm probably not going to till that every year by any means. Anyway, another is container plants are always better than B&B. Of course, it turns out that container plants have their own set of problems, which is root girdling, which I was not a big believer in, and now I'm convinced. And now with these days of looking online and finding lots of good images, that you can find the coolest pictures of what circling roots can do. They actually wrap around, a lot of times, especially when they're planted too deep, and they will girdle that trunk so severely that it's just like you put a piece of steel twine or wire around it. It also makes them snap at that point too. So you got to be sure, if you are planting container plants, to get those roots teased out or saw through them with a serrated saw, or B&B material, which, if it's been properly grown, is actually not good. All those roots are going to be going out into the soil like they're supposed to.
Let's go back again. So B&B stands for?
Ball and burlap. You dig up a root ball, you wrap it in burlap. Another myth was you could leave it on there because it'll
I was just
rot.
about to ask you that. So what about that one?
You do not. You take it off. If it rotted that fast, would you use it?
Right.
So, and also they don't even use real burlap these days. They have some kind of synthetic
about
product that looks like burlap. You want those roots to get in touch with that soil as fast as you can. Take off the cage, take off the burlap, take off the wire. Do whatever you can to actually get naked roots in touch with the soil where it's going to be growing, and water in well, water in deeply.
Okay. Water in well, water in deeply.
Yes, even if you have rain, if you have irrigation, that first soaking, you need to really get that root ball settled in and soaked. We used to hear B&B material could only be planted in the winter when it's dormant. But truth is, if it's been well handled, root pruned, wrapped in a good ball of burlap, there's a lot of good intact roots in that plant right there. You can certainly plant them year-round, as long as you're willing to water, which is the same thing you had to do with container plants anyway. So that is another myth. They also used to tell you, be sure you don't let that root ball come apart. Keep that soil. Now they've discovered if you knock all that soil off and plant it, get it into contact with the soil where it's going to be growing, it'll actually grow off faster than the one that is kept in the original root ball.
Okay.
So somebody finally does research. If we got time for more, the idea that raw wood chips are always a bad idea for mulching established plants. It is a bad idea if you're tilling it in little baby plants. It's going to rob the nitrogen, and it can certainly deprive them of the nutrition they need for growth. But if you're just using raw wood chips to put on the top of the ground around well-established plants, it does not steal nitrogen. It does not. It is a perfectly good source and a good way to recycle things and help from haul those kinds of things off to the landfill.
Okay.
Talking about fertilizer, people have misconceptions about fertilizer being good for plants and what types of fertilizer. Number one, most of our soils have plenty of P and K, so you usually don't have to add a lot of that. You really don't have to fertilize a woody plant at all. You really don't. We got plenty of nutrition in the soil. The plants out in the woods have done fine without anybody helping them out. We like to. We like to see that rich growth and push them along a little bit. People assume manure is always a good idea. It's a good organic source. It breaks down slow. Some plants don't like manure. And we discovered that the hard way because we thought, well, we grew up on a dairy farm, and we switched over to being a blueberry orchard. We had put manure on everything. Blueberries don't like manure. It's too alkaline.
Yeah, right.
So and most of our ornamentals like an acid soil. Hollies, camellias, azaleas,
gardenias.
They do not like that alkaline soil. So don't make that assumption. Manure is always a good idea.
Does manure contain a lot of salt?
I don't know if it's salt, it's alkaline. I don't think I wouldn't think it would be a high salt thing at all. Companion plants. You hear that business all the time.
We get it all the time.
Companion plants, compost tea. I read somewhere that said, why would you think a diluted product from compost would be better than actual compost? Makes no sense, does it? So, and they say it cures all ills. You can use it for, curing these diseases and that disease. True, a healthier plant might be able to resist some disease. I really like people to research. There's some good books out there, the truth about home remedies that you can read. Which ones actually work, because some do. Okay. But a lot of the myth about companion plants that repel mosquitoes.
Hit it all
I watch them land. I watch a mosquito land right on that citronella leaf. Like, really?
All right, didn't do anything to it, huh?
No, but people swear by it because they didn't have mosquitoes that summer. Well, there was some other reason you didn't have mosquitoes that summer. It had nothing to do with your citronella plants.
That's what you see on the internet all the time. Recommended plants to repel mosquitoes. How about that?
Somebody said put a little mint in your house and the mice will scamper away. I'm like, really? So, yeah. We have to be careful about these things. If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably not.
It probably is.
Yeah.
Carol, that's some good stuff.
Okay.
I've been waiting for that. That's some real good stuff. Thank you much. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. To find out more information on this topic, just click on the familyplotgarden.com link in the description.